Hello everyone, welcome to LICD lecture 6C. Today's topic is ideal integrator circuit using op-amp. So let us check the idea of the ideal integrator. So ideal integrator circuit will integrate the input, right? So V out should be equal to A times integral of input V in dt. So if you remove the A is basically the gain of the op-amp, right, gain of the circuit, and we can remove that remove that gain constant, and we can get V out is equal to proportional to the integral of the input. So that is what we want. So let us start with this ideal integrator circuit. So this is my diagram for the ideal integrator. We have V in resistor R1, and in place of feedback resistor we have a capacitor, feedback capacitor C1. Let us consider the voltage across this capacitor is VC1, and I minus current flowing into the op amp is almost zero because of high input impedance of the op amp, and we have marked V minus and V plus as the inverting and the non-inverting uh, voltages, and here we have marked the current flowing through the resistor R1, we have called it IR1. So let us proceed with this analysis now. Okay, so from the circuit what we can consider is the point number one, step number one is V plus is real ground, so V minus is approximately equal to V plus, which is a virtual ground concept. Since V plus is 0, so V minus will be approximately equal to V plus will be equal to 0. So that completes our step number 1. Let me select the color now. So step number 2. Step number 2, let us analyze the circuit. So here we can see that the current flowing through the resistor R1 is IR1 is the same current flowing through the capacitor C1. Now why is that? That is because I minus is equal to 0. And that is because the input impedance of the op amp is very high. Now can we write IR1 expression? So IR1 will be V in minus V minus upon R1. So let us write that. So first of all also we can write I minus is approximately equal to 0 since Ri of op amp is very high. So that's the step number 2. Step number 3 will be uh, IR1, that is the current flowing through the resistor, flows through capacitor C1 also. Okay, that's our next point. Next point will be, we can write IR1 is equal to V in minus V minus upon R1. So we can write over here IR1 is equal to V in minus V minus upon R1. So what is V minus from the from the first step? It is 0. So it will be equal to V in minus 0 upon R1. So that's the equation what we got. Now, so that will be equal to V in divided by R1. Okay. So the current flowing also we can write that from step number 4, step number 5. The same current flows through the capacitor. So we can also write the current flowing through the capacitor as IR1. We can also write it as the current flowing to any capacitor is given by C dV by dt. Here V is my voltage across the capacitor. So we can write over here current in a capacitor is given by, let me just, so current C dV by dt. So in this case, we have the current as IR1 only. Is the same current passing through the capacitor. So this will be equal to C1 dV C1 divided by dt. So voltage across the capacitor we have determined as VC1. So hence we get here C1 into dVC1 divided by dt. So from step number 4 and 5 we have same currents. So can we equate this? Yes. So we can equate this is equal to V in upon R1. So V in upon R1 is equal to C1 into dVC1 Vc1 divided by Vt. Now let us go back to the circuit. So can we write Vc1 as V minus V out? Yes, we can do that. So we can write over here in the step number 6, we can write Vc1 is equal to V minus V out. V minus, as we know, it's 0. So it will be equal to Vc1 will be equal to minus V out. So now this Vc1 we can substitute it in step number 5 and we get the following. So we get C1 into D of minus V out divided by dt is equal to V in upon R. So basically we can rearrange this term as, so V will come remain that side, so it will be V in is equal, basically we can write it as, let's consider this. Okay, so what do we do is we will integrate both the sides, right? So my V out will be equal to now, so V out will be equal to minus, uh, it will be minus 1 upon R1 C1 into integration of V in dt. So integration of V in dt plus a V out of at 0. So this is the expression of ideal integrator circuit. Let me box it. So here it shows that here my R1 C1 is actually called as the time constant of the integrator. So it's called as time constant of integrator, and V out of 0 is basically initial output voltage. Initial output voltage. So as you can clearly see from the equation, if you ignore the value of V out, we can clearly see that an R1 and C1 is a constant. So we can see that V out is proportional to minus of integral of V in into dt. So that's the functionality what we were looking for, and negative sign indicate that it's because the input is applied to the inverting terminal. That's why we have a negative sign over here. Don't worry about the negative sign. Okay, so the circuit, the the op-amp circuit behaves as an integrator as per the derived equation. So the above circuit, it integrates the output will be integration of the input voltage. So that's what the ideal integrator looks like. Now this ideal integrator will have some flaws, which we will improve in a practical integrator circuit. So we have completed our today's topic of ideal integrator circuit using op-amp, and we have derived its output expression in terms of integral of input. And I think that's it for today. Next time we'll begin with some other topic and using op-amp. So until then, have a good day.